Hey lovies, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you do enjoy it. But this video is going to be a voiceover so that I can give you details, because if I speak by myself, I'm gonna get carried away like I am now. But without further ado, honey, let us get into the video. Okay loves, so firstly I make sure that I moisturize my lips, whether it be lip gloss or lip balm, just to prime them, as we are going to apply lipstick later on. But let us get into this tutorial. I am going to prime my eyelids with this foundation. All the products I'll be using in this video will be in the description box. I apply the foundation with a brush first, and then I blend it out with a sponge. In today's video, I used the James Charles palette, but you can honestly use any eyeshadow palette that has shades of brown and black in it, and I'm just simply packing on that eyeshadow. As you can see, I am following the natural shape of my eyes. I'm not creating any other shape. I'm just packing it into the crease of my eyes and blending it upwards. I don't like to drag my eyeshadow all the way to my inner corner, but if you're somebody who likes to do that, then definitely do. But because I already have big eyes, I just contour my eyes following their natural shape. As you can see, I am blending this product down to my eyelids because I don't want my eyes to look blank at all. This will just ensure that our eyes still look as blended as possible. Yes, we're only using 2 eyeshadows, but we can still make it work and make it look beautiful. And now I'm packing on that beautiful black eyeshadow in the center of my eyelids, just to give this eye a little smoky effect. And then I'm going to go back in with that blending brush and blend that out. I usually blend upwards and outwards before I go to my inner corners. So blend up and out before you go to the inner corners, because this will prevent a huge mess. I know some people shy away from smoky eyes because it can get very messy very quickly, and that is why when I pack on that black eyeshadow, I go in stages. I will apply a little bit and then build it up from there. I won't go in heavy with a huge amount of black eyeshadow. My eyes were looking kind of boring and plain, so I used some setting spray and a brush just to pack on a little bit of shimmer in the inner corners of my eyes. Adding shimmer just opens up your eye. It makes it look so beautiful and so glam. It's an easy trick to go from 0 to 100 with some simple eyeshadow. And now I'm just going to show you a quick recap of how we got this beautiful smoky eye. As you can see, I didn't pack on a whole lot of black eyeshadow. That is because I prefer my smoky eyes to be more light. I know that there's some people who go heavy with smoky eye. I'm not one of those people. I like my eyelids to look clean. But as you can see, I'm packing on that eyeshadow once again, and I'm going to blend it out in circular motion. Remember, pack and then blend in order to get the most pigment. Don't forget to blend upwards, but also drag that product down to your eyelids so that you don't have any awkward patches or any empty spaces on your eyelids. Because we're not using a lot of product on our eyelids, we want to make sure that that eyeshadow is evenly distributed properly throughout your eye. By the way, if you don't know where your crease is or how to contour for your eye shape, simply look up at the roof and feel that space right below your brow bone. That is your natural crease. I really hope you understood me. Just please practice it. If you can't find your crease, try and look up at the roof. Take your finger and just feel that space right below your brow bone, and I promise you, you will find your crease. If you don't like a bright inner corner, please don't use setting spray before you apply the shimmer eyeshadow, because the setting spray just makes the eyeshadow more pigmented. While I wait for my lash glue to dry, I'm going to apply some mascara to my eyelashes. And honestly, if I wanted to, this could be a look on its own. Just apply some foundation, some concealer, and I'd be done. But no, when I'm a basic girl, I wanted to go dramatic. And as you can see, these lashes are anything but plain. They are so dramatic, and that's what I love about them, because the longer the lashes are, the more smoky the eye looks. And because I was already going for a smoky eye look, I just thought that these lashes were perfect. This is the lash glue that I use. It is truly amazing. Your lashes won't flinch and they got me feeling like a baddie. But now let's move on to our face makeup. I'm going to use some setting powder just to set my face. I am an oily girl, so putting some setting powder just helps the product stay on your face for longer and also controls oiling throughout the day. I had already moisturized and that is why I was already looking shiny and oily, but I'm going to be using a dry sponge to apply the setting powder, and then I'm going to use some foundation as a base for my concealer. When I use a foundation, the concealer just looks more pigmented and it's easier to blend because sometimes concealers tend to move very easily. So applying this foundation as a base just helps it last on longer and just to stay in one place. This foundation is obviously lighter than my skin tone, but because I'm using it as a highlighter slash concealer base, it is perfect. I was feeling a bit extra and decided to use two foundations. I love the natural finish that this Revlon one has, and I also mixed it with the Wet n Wild foundation because I love how full coverage the Wet n Wild foundation is, so just mixing the two was perfect. Applying foundation on your hand before your face just helps it oxidize, and that is way better for your base makeup. And I'm using that Wet n Wild applicator to apply the foundation onto my face. And then I'm going to use some setting spray just to dampen my beauty blender. I know she looks dirty, it's okay, I washed her. But anyway, I'm going to blend that foundation out, and I won't really blend that base concealer that we have applied. I'm just going to blend out the foundation that we had just applied, which is the Wet n Wild and the Revlon mixed together. But I won't really try and blend out that lighter shade of foundation that is already on my face. And don't forget to blend down your neck, around the edges of your nose, and by your ears. Please, we don't want to be having mixed tones in the sun and another one in the shade, so make sure that all your spaces and corners of your face are fully covered with your foundation. Only once I've blended out my face foundation do I go and blend out the edges of that lighter shade of foundation that we had already applied as a base for our concealer. And mind you, I'm saying I only blend out the edges of that lighter shade of foundation because we still want it to be pigmented. I'm not really going to blend it out that much. I'm just going to pat, but I won't blend it out because we still want it to be as pigmented, and I don't want that product to move because it is still acting as a base for our concealer. And today I'm going to conceal with the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Creamy Beige. It may look too light, but because we had already applied that base, it's really going to blend in very well with my skin tone, and I love a highlighted look. And as you can see, I'm focusing that concealer on the inner parts of my face rather than dragging out that concealer all the way up to my eyeshadow or my eyelids. I'm just keeping it concentrated on the inner parts of my face. I blend out my under eye concealer last, like after contouring, but I blend out my nose and my chin right after applying that concealer. Well, today I didn't, but I usually do. And I'm going to use a soft touch mousse to contour my face. I love this shade because it just makes me look bronzed. I don't like too much of a harsh contour, but bronzer really does it for me. It is way less harsh. And when using the soft touch mousse, I use a brush to apply the product, but I'm going to blend it out with my beauty blender. I prefer using a beauty blender to blend out my contour and my bronzer because it gives me a more flawless, smooth blending process. I know some people prefer to use a brush. I just prefer using a sponge. I love how smooth it leaves my face, and I love how easy it is to blend in my contour with my foundation, and it's easier for me to blend in my contour into my hairline rather than using a brush, which is gonna move my edges. I mean, I work hard for my baby hairs. I'm not going to let some brush take that away from me. Before I blend out my under eye concealer, I need to have my setting powder already prepared and ready for me at hand. I apply my setting powder with a brush instead of a sponge. The application process is much more flawless for me personally. And then I'm going to blend out that under eye concealer and pat on that setting powder. I prefer to have that setting powder at hand because my under eyes do crease very quickly, and that is why I work with one under eye at a time. I blend it out first and make sure that I have that setting powder to just set before I get any creases. And I'm going to repeat the same trick with my other under eye. Using that excess setting powder, I pat it on my chin, and if I'm going for a chiseled look, I'd really go beneath that contour just to define my face. And now I'm going to finish off my eyes using this Makeup Revolution bronzer contour kit. You can use black eyeshadow for this, but I didn't really want to have a harsh smoky eye, and that is why I chose this beautiful smoky brown shade. And I'm also going to add a little bit more highlighter because when we blended out that concealer, most of it wiped away, so I'm just going to further enhance my eyes with highlighter. I don't apply any highlighter to my cheekbones because that is where I usually get pimples, and I'm not trying to highlight those areas. So I only highlight my nose bridge as well as the tip of my nose. And now I'm going to bronze using those two shades. Tap off the excess on the back of your hand before you apply any blush or any contour bronzer to your face. This will ensure that you don't have any patchy makeup. Just make sure that you just tap off a little bit of excess for a smoother application. As you can see, I'm just tapping in this product lightly. And to blend the entire face together, I'm going to use my damp beauty sponge. Then I'm going to go in with some blush, tap off the excess, go lightly by the cheeks, smile, and then I'm going to go back in with that beauty blender and just blend the rest of the face together just to make sure that the setting powder has blended with the blush and the bronzer. Mascara just adds that finishing touch to the smoky eye look, and then I'm going to use my lip liner as an enhancer for my beauty spot. As I apply foundation and concealer, my beauty spot begins to fade, and that is why I need to go back in with that lip liner just to make sure that she is still showing, because I'm not ashamed of her. And I'm going to use that same liner to line my lips. Nude lips are really on trend, and I love that because they honestly go with every eye look. You can tailor make it and specify it to the eye that you're having or wearing that day, and nude lips look beautiful on every skin tone, so why not? Add some lip gloss, girl. Girl, those cheeks will be in trouble. And lastly, to seal in all this beauty, I'm going to apply some setting spray just to make sure that we have locked in that product, to make sure that it lasts for as long throughout the day. I was feeling so pretty. I was just blushing at myself. I couldn't even do my outro. But I really hope you learned something from this video and found it helpful. Don't forget to comment down below any other recommendations that you have. Hey lovey, if you've made it to the end of this video, I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below for more content like this. But without further ado, honey, stay beautiful, stay blessed. I love you. God loves you more. Bye.